what is happening? This is Linus, you're watching TechLion, and this is the Redmi Note 9S, yet another budget device from Xiaomi. You know, we have the usual case. This phone has great specifications, it has nice design, quite a compelling quad camera setup, and a lot more other features that I wanted to talk about in detail in my full review, so stay tuned. Design-wise, we are looking at a classic Xiaomi device, but there are some changes compared to the Redmi Note series phones. Here is how it looks like next to the Redmi Note 8T that I reviewed about a month ago. The fingerprint scanner that I found to be pretty fast and accurate has moved to the side of the phone. If you don't like the placement of it, just use the face unlock feature that is usually fast and reliable. Also, Xiaomi did a great job imitating metal by making a matte plastic frame with slightly chamfered edges. Matte surfaces attract less fingerprints, they are usually less prone to scratches, and the Redmi Note 9S is a great example. The overall build quality is great, but the phone is quite slippery, so don't leave it on the edge of the couch. I love the fact that the phone is splash-proof even though it does not have any official certification. The Redmi Note series has always been famous for its superb battery life, but the Note 9S takes it to another level. Even though the phone is relatively thin and light, Xiaomi managed to cram in a massive 5020 mAh battery inside of it. The real-life performance up to 20 hours of screen on time, which is pretty crazy to say the least. This SOT time was achieved using the phone mostly for video and social media. If you use your Redmi Note 9S more intensively, you can still expect to get one of the best results. The phone supports 18 watts fast charging. Surprisingly, it ships with an even faster 22.5 watts fast charger that fully charges the phone in just about 1 hour and 45 minutes. If you need to top up the battery very quickly, you can charge it from 0 to 37% in just 30 minutes. A massive LCD display is very good for its class. I like the colors, good brightness and contrast. Same as the backplate, it's covered with a Gorilla Glass for protection. There is no always-on display feature, but we do have LED notification light. A 16-megapixel selfie shooter sits in the sponge hole. The bottom firing speaker is really good for its class, and it can also get quite loud. The hardware configuration is one of the most attractive points of this device. A Snapdragon 720G turns out to be a very capable chipset when it comes to handling even the latest 3D games. For instance, PUBG runs fine on HD graphics and high frame rate without any issues, which is really impressive for a budget device. Well, I've noticed just a few skipped frames in other 3D titles, but that's just nitpicking. The overall gaming performance is superb for its class. The day-to-day performance of the phone has been pretty good too. We have the MIUI 11 that is based on Android 10, and if you are familiar with Xiaomi phones, you'll see that pretty much everything has remained the same. We have all the usual features and tweaks to play with, and all of the customization options are here. Classic Xiaomi, lots of freedom for the consumer to customize the phone. A quad camera system can produce regular, wide-angle, macro, and portrait pictures. In good lighting, the camera takes nice pictures with quite accurate colors, good dynamic range, and good level of detail. A 48-megapixels mode can be useful for cropping if you need that extra resolution. A wide-angle shooter also takes nice-looking pictures, but as usual to budget phones, there could be a little bit more detail. A dedicated depth sensor allows you to take nice-looking portraits, and autofocus macro lens did surprisingly well in my test, even though I'm not a big macro photography fan. At night, the wide-angle camera collapses and it does not support night mode, but the main lens is really impressive. These are one of the best night shots I've seen on a budget phone. The front-facing camera on the Redmi Note 9S is really good. I like the quality of selfies, selfie portraits, and even in low light, the camera performs quite well. When it comes to video, it's a similar story to the previous budget Xiaomi phones. That means that 4K video offers more detail than 1080p at the expense of shakiness. Further, you can only record videos in 1080p if you want to use a wide-angle lens, and you cannot switch between different lenses while you are recording a video. My recommendation would be simply use a classic 1080p 30fps mode that produces nice and smooth video with great autofocus. A 1080p selfie video looks really nice even though it could be less shaky. There is also a slow motion up to 960 fps video mode and the Pro mode that allows you to adjust quite a few image settings. I do like some changes brought by Xiaomi. For example, there is focus peaking that is really useful if you are focusing manually. In the connectivity department, the Redmi Note 9S is quite solid. We have a dual SIM card and a dedicated microSD card slot and USB Type-C port for charging. Also, we have a headphone jack and FM radio which works without earphones plugged in, but you need to be in the good FM reception area, otherwise plug in your earphones. An integrated IR blaster allows you to control some of your devices. Call quality, signal reception and GPS have been working great, but there is no NFC on this phone, which might be a deal breaker for some users. Just before we jump into conclusions, a quick word from the channel sponsor Wondershare. Dr. Phone System Repair is a professional iOS repair tool to fix your iOS issues like black screen, recovery mode, white screen of death, and more without data loss. This software can easily fix all kinds of iOS system issues and get your device back to normal. Most importantly, it takes just a couple of minutes to do that. Comparing to iTunes Restore or other methods that can fix your iOS system issue, using this iOS system recovery tool won't put your data at risk. All you need to do is getting your device connected and move forward with a few clicks. You simply need to launch Dr. Phone and connect iPhone to the computer, start download the proper iPhone firmware, and click Fix Now to start fixing iPhone to normal. Check out the link in the video description to learn more. Despite the lack of NFC, I think this is yet another solid budget phone from Xiaomi. You know, we have great design, great specifications for the price, quite a compelling camera setup, one of the best battery life, and I think this is one of the best budget devices you can buy at the moment. But do you agree with me or not? Would you choose this device or would you go with another option? As always, like the video if you liked it, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, drop me a comment down below, and as always, it was Linus, thank you for watching and see you soon.